You're listening to the Slurmcast, a podcast for no reason. Today we will be discussing Futurama Season 3, Episode 18, Anthology of Interest 2, with your hosts, Tommy Roulette.
How's it going?
Pete Woodward.
That's me.
And I'm Rick Horchie. Joining us today is our special guest, Sean Jaundice.
Hi.
Hey.
Return guest, Sean Jaundice.
Guest.
This is your deuce appearance. I need to get right into it. The Jumbotron cartoon this week.
Close call.
Was that Mickey Mouse jacking off?
I don't know. It's not Mickey Mouse. It's a mouse. It's called a close call.
All right. It busts through a door, just like, knocks the whole thing down, and then jumps, kind of squats, and furiously shakes his fist in front of his groin.
Maybe that was the point of what they were trying to show.
I don't know. I don't know if he was trying to express anger or arousal or both, but it was maybe the dirtiest one that I've seen so far. And
I usually find myself masturbating to the beginning of Futurama, but
well, of course,
I kind of tailor off by that point, and that's why I didn't notice what
you get
the
a
hell
solid
you're talking about.
8 seconds in, and then it's all right. I can relax now. You know yourself well. It's a good skill to have. Yeah, that's all. It was a messed up Jumbotron cartoon.
Yeah.
But in a different kind of messed up way.
Yeah, it was called from 1929. The really racy time. I'm sorry. I mispronounced that. Really racist time.
Right. Yeah, that's good. I thought this was a good episode. I think I'll probably have a lot of things to criticize.
I always enjoy these episodes because it's better than a clip show.
Definitely better than a clip show. How many of these did they do in the run of the series? So this is the second one. Do they do one every season after this point?
This is it. They don't do another one. Because they have season 4 and then it doesn't have any, and then it get canceled. But they do other ones like it later in the series.
Okay.
What was the tagline at the beginning?
It was, "Hey Tivo, suggest this."
Oh, okay.
Is that like...
when that came on, I was like, jeez. That dates you immediately. Just assuming that at that point, a show that's going to go on forever is going to, people are going to know Tivo.
Well,
I think people under 25 have no clue what Tivo is.
I think that was humble of them to think
I think people under 25 don't even really know what Futurama is.
I'm just saying, maybe really Futurama's in the pocket of Deep Tivo. There.
Deep Tivo. That's
I don't know. TiVo was everywhere at that time. Everybody was making references to TiVo back then.
Do you think if they had
it was more of a throwaway
an episode now,
yeah,
the tagline would be like a voiceover, say, "Hey Alexa, blah blah blah," something about Futurama. And try to
absolutely.
If you did that now, 10 years from now,
or Siri,
yeah,
the way I see that all the time in things like TiVo.
Well, yeah, I mean...
I never had TiVo. I could never afford TiVo.
Well, yeah, I didn't need it because I had a DVR, and there wasn't a lot of value add to the TiVo thing.
Well, it was also sort of like...
Remember that
when
noise?
It came out, it was before...
Bloop, boop, bloop, bloop, bloop.
It was before DVR.
Yeah, TiVo was kind of like Kleenex for a little while. People were calling it everything TiVo for a minute.
It was kind of, only people who had some money had it. And then once DVRs came out, it was like, TiVo, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
They should have become a streaming, like a media hub thing. Might have worked for them.
If there
was such a thing as streaming media
whatever.
at the time.
I mean, when someone jailbreaks like a Fire Stick, you know what I mean, or like how I use an Xbox. Is
that legal?
Well, the way
that's why they
Xbox,
use the term jailbreak.
I am a character.
That is true.
Speaking of characters, Meatbag.
My character's name is Chaz Monticelli.
Where do you hail from, Chaz?
How many T's does that have in it?
T's?
Yeah.
The letter T?
It sounded like you said Chaz Monticelli.
Monticelli.
Side question, how many teas does Chaz Monticelli drink?
One every hour.
Oh, that's a lot of does he sleep?
He sounds very well hydrated. I bet he has to pee all the time.
In his 7 bathrooms. He's rich, guys.
You guys named Chaz are always rich.
So I'm going to assume that Chaz got rich because no one named Chaz is born rich.
Trust fund.
You'd be Charles if you were born rich.
Well, you'd be Chester, but then they
Chaz
call
is
him
like
Chaz.
someone who like invented like a new way to get it into a bag of Funyuns.
Yeah, but he's really
Like-
just a big meatball.
like
literally?
meatwad.
No, I
Like-
mean
or he's just like a-
he's rich, but and he has a cool name, but he's really
Like
just
Francis Buxton from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
yeah,
Yeah,
just a-
yeah, a cool name like Francis.
No, not
Buxton.
not that Francis Buxton is a cool name, but Francis
also-
Buxton was like a big meatball.
Also, I would like to point out that
I stand
Horch
by
here
this.
thinks that Chaz is a pretty cool name.
Yeah, it is.
It is a cool name.
It's a cool guy name.
Yeah, that Chaz Palmentary, cool guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if I just
No.
read the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same as what's yours? Chaz.
Jazz
Before
Monticelli.
I found out that
Monticelli.
Chaz had 7 bathrooms, I figured he had 5 or more.
Monticelli sounds like a type of pasta.
Maybe I was heir to a pasta.
You know what? I'm going to
company.
say right now, if I open a pizza place, the cheese Monticelli
He sounds
is
like
going to be on the menu.
the guy that has seven bathrooms and a big house and a bunch of nice stuff, and every
Who
time
still pees in the
somebody comes
backyard.
over to like fix something, he like pronounces words wrong and like tries to be worldly in front of like the working class people that do all this shit for him, and like
The thing is, though, he made all of his money with porta potties. So 4 of those toilets are porta potties.
yeah, this is the bathroom. I come in here and do bathroom things.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Be sure you pour the blue water in the toilet when you're done to flush.
So what are we at?
With the professor,
half
like
of the first minute?
He also lives adjacent to a tennis court, a public tennis court.
I do right now. Oh, wait. Did I give away too much?
there's a number of tennis courts you could live next to.
In Cleveland.
Nobody plays tennis on it. They
Public tennis courts
they
in
mostly
Cleveland.
use them to just kind of
all right.
like fake soccer and deal drugs. But
Well, they say they put this one up because it used to be a basketball court, and to keep it safe, they kept a street light on it 24 hours. So it just meant people played basketball all
That was
night.
the playground I went to when I was a little kid.
Yeah, so to fix it, instead of anything else, they're just like, turn it into a tennis court.
and then no one will
Who
use
the
it
hell's
ever.
playing night tennis?
I want to hear people out there going,
I try and play night tennis as often as possible.
Night tennis.
Hey, got somebody coming over later. We're gonna play some night tennis.
Exactly.
Hey, guys, if you hear some noises next door, don't worry about it. I'm just playing night tennis.
Boom, bada bo, boo doo 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 doo. That's my night tennis theme song.
It's a racket.
I think you did Barney Miller's theme song.
Oh, I was
instead
trying
of
to do Night
Court,
Court.
though.
That was Night Court.
No. Night Court starts with a funky slap bass.
yeah.
Boo-doo.
Oh,
Do-do-do-do-do.
Damn.
Then the guy playing ball.
That's what I did, isn't it?
No, you did the Barney Miller theme.
Guys,
No, I went bow do 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 do.
No.
Questioningly, you hear
All right,
how
wait.
questioningly
And
the
then-
do do do's were.
And then while we're on the subject of nights,
Do you guys remember Silver Spoons?
What
I bet they had a
open
night
a five
tennis
way or
court.
two of a
what about Trinky Dinks? Huh? That was from a long time ago. Remember?
I like that the
I thought
professor
Jesus was the master of the universe.
he fine tunes his what if machine with a hammer.
as
You know,
you do
classic
any
misdirect.
scientific machine, calibrate it.
Didn't Mike Pence just do that at NASA or something? Wasn't there a sign that said "Don't touch" and he like took a hammer to it because it was an affront to God?
I don't know.
I thought he just put his hand on it.
Same difference.
Wait, a
No,
sign.
that's super different.
a sign
not in my mind.
was a sign saying "Don't touch."
Yeah,
in
there's
a
a
front
Yeah, he
there's a
basically
picture,
reached out and
it
touched the
turned
sign
into a
and said,
meme
"Don't
said,
touch."
"Don't touch," and it was valuable NASA equipment, and it's just a picture of him with his
he-
hand on it.
I mean,
he touched the sign. He was being cute. Right?
No, he touched the object.
Oh, so
Yeah.
like if there was one in front of a goddamn fan,
Yeah.
he would have just been like,
I guess.
that's an affront to God.
I'm the vice president.
yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Why is it affront to God?
Because everything is. He thinks electrocuting gay people makes them straight. So really, I don't trust anything that comes out of his mouth or mind.
Like the death penalty?
I think it's a lighter voltage, but no less brutal. It's just it's a cockamamie belief system.
Let's get into this
I mean, you're gonna edit all this out, so it doesn't matter, right?
I forgot you do that. I was like, man, this is a lot of meandering, but I'm into it. I'm laughing.
So we get into the stories again. Now, the last one started with Bender wanting to be a 500-foot tall Bender, and now it's Bender wanting to be a human.
I wanted to throw back before.
Yeah.
I liked that every time he used the machine, he had to do something different to
yeah,
make it work.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, there was the one where he does the pull cord.
That's
which
the
I
third
thought
one.
was cute.
He did the hammer and the pull cord in the first one.
Oh.
The second one was the incense.
Yeah.
And then the third,
Was the
It was
slot
the
machine.
slot machine one.
the
It's
slot
around
machine
the-
and knocked her out. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's how it all happened.
Um,
The end. I'm gone.
You know, just that whole Bender wants to have emotions, but then he gets sad because he doesn't have emotions, and that creates a paradox.
To be fair, he didn't want to be a human. He said no at the last second.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. So
Right before he was turning into a human, he was like, "Are you ready?" And he's like, maybe I'm like."
He's like,
having
on second thought or
yeah,
something.
I'm
like that.
having second thoughts.
And then Professor pulled the thing, and then he turned into a little skinnier Homer Simpson with hair.
yeah, that hair was real bad looking.
It was. He
the
did not
whole,
look.
It was drawn bad, and I was sort of like, Bender. Part of the hair was missing, so it had a style. So
Yeah.
it's not like it just came out looking like that. Someone decided to make it look that bad.
He was just like,
It was like a rag made out of like custard.
what's the word I'm thinking of? It's like he was unsettling the way he was drawn as a human in the first place.
unpleasant.
It was just like,
Maybe that was the point because it was what if Bender. We're gonna have this argument. It's what if Bender.
was turned into a
You
human.
ever see somebody
It's
like that in real life, and you're like, who
non-canon.
drew that guy? Like,
I have absolutely
The platypus.
seen-
When
The
you
platypus.
say that, who drew that guy? I haven't watched this season of Futurama in a while. I thought the animation was garbage in this episode. I was embarrassed that in the third season it had dipped that much from the first season.
Look,
and again,
Korean sweatshops can only turn out so much quality.
I get it. Usually shows kind of are more refined at that point, but
Yeah.
I think you could tell that Fox was sort of putting something on them. Like there was
It was
definitely
number
looked like
12 on the best Futurama episodes ever.
I just meant the animation, like I don't know who was the like main animation artist on it.
Some nameless.
There's a part where when near the end,
Mm-hmm.
spoiler alert, when Bender's huge and fat at the thing, and they show him in his final condition.
Yeah.
There's a drawing of his foot, and it looks like it's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like somebody doesn't know how to draw did it.
did you notice his nipple was like falling off?
There's a lot of weird stuff in there, and it, I'm only nitpicking.
I understand what you're saying.
because I'm an artist.
Yes.
That's the only, and I hadn't watched this. Like it's not like I watch Futurama continuously. I just kind of came back and watched some of this, and I liked the episode. I'm not bagging on it.
No.
I just definitely felt there was like either the main artist was not that great.
I mean, to be fair, even the
Or
art
they
that
cut
was
some
good
corners.
was kind of unsettling too. I mean, like this whole episode with Bender, the mini story number one was just
like. If you want to bring one up of the picture of him with his foot, it just looks like someone who doesn't know how
Well,
to draw.
actually,
was
the
all.
main artist is here today. Chaz, would you like to come?
Chaz Monte Carlo.
I forgot his last name. What was it?
Monticelli?
Oh, yeah.
Jelly.
Is it? Yeah. You should go by Chaz Monte Carlo.
The weird thing is he drives a Monte Carlo.
The whole reverse fossilization process was dubious, but I like the idea of turning toasters into raccoons to make them something useful.
I like I didn't like the raccoon thing, but
Where it shot toast out of it?
but when he said it tastes gamey, I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That was funny. I don't know. I mean, raccoons want to dig around and eat garbage, so you'd have to you'd open up your garbage can and then pop. There would be toast for you. That's how you get your toast.
Oh, I wouldn't eat that toast.
It's
But-
gamey.
Yeah, but even so, it'd just be filthy.
I think...
What if you turned your cats into toasters? Would then they be more useful?
No, because that would be going the other way.
Yeah,
it's
you'd be
reverse fossilizing. What inanimate object would I have to reverse fossilize to make it become a cat?
What if we just regular fossilized? Which of your cats would you turn into a toaster?
Any and all.
You still
got
to feed it bread. Got to feed it bread.
Oh, they're the worst.
Cat food bread.
Oh.
So I think we should kind of agree with this episode. We really have to let a lot of story and character development go.
Yeah, there's
a lot of
most of them,
boom,
and then most of them wrapped it up at the end.
It's all it's all non-canon, so it's one of those.
But there is points where we're like, well, why would he do? And it's like, oh well, they just didn't.
I don't have the energy to even
argue
7 about a lot of this
or
shit.
6 minutes or whatever.
Cover your shame, man. Like
that bothered me a lot because it was like you didn't have to show his junk. You could have shown anything, and then they chose here's his junk, and then cover your shame, man, and pull your.
I kind of liked it. It was like a nice. It's a nice clean dick joke.
But was it really a dick joke?
Yeah.
I guess.
17-year-old me probably would have.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It was his antenna. It moved south.
No. That was good. I'm talking about when he literally Hermes leaned over and pulled
just
the
yanked up the
underwear
undies.
That
I
bothered
thought
me.
it was kind of like
the antenna thing. That was great.
I don't know
if
it was a joke, but it was that anticipation where it's like, oh, they're doing this, and then Bender's not wearing clothes, and they're like, oh, what are they going to do for that half a second? If you're watching, you're like, what? Oh, okay. And then
I get it, but if they didn't do that, I don't think you would have thought of why didn't they show his dick?
Yeah, no, you're right.
But they should have showed his dick.
What about the amount of times that he would Bender sexually assault women in this episode?
Just in general,
as a robot, it's okay, but as a human, it's terrifying.
Amy seems to be into it immediately.
Well, that was really I was like, wow. I don't mean to slut shame Amy, but what kind of a dick he was as a robot for 3 seasons.
Well,
now he's a human, and it's like from all about.
I'm more
doing
surprised
this podcast, that comes up a lot. That it's actually pretty in line with her character.
But is it because normally
slutty?
she's attracted to anything humans aside from Fry, right?
Oh.
Like Amy's we try to refer to Amy as sex positive.
She's owning her body.
Yeah, and early on, she dated a hyper intelligent crowd. She spent a lot of time with Kif. I think she's.
I get that, but she also clearly has a lot of parent issues.
Oh yeah.
So so do
But if she gets it on with a
embarrass
human,
their
then they're going to
parents.
get grandparents, and she does
and
not
what if-
want that.
Yeah, but they didn't want that with an alien even more.
What if Bender was human? And he then made out with Amy. Amy would be into it.
Immediately, though. It's more the matter of I just said, let's forget about character development, but it was jarring the first time I saw it.
Is there such a thing as the Academy of Science? Is that a real thing?
I think so.
I love that it's in a brownstone in between other things.
I mean,
if that brownstone was in New York, New
York,
and it's original. That would cost more than a brand new fancy building.
Yeah.
So, devil's advocate on that one.
There's an Academy of Science, apparently.
There's an Air and Space Museum.
National Academy of Science, the Ohio Academy of Science, the California Academy of Sciences. California... Oh, I misread this. I thought it was the California Academy of Sciences and Parking. It's just directions to their thing. So then he starts throwing up all over. Barf, 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 barf. It excites Zoidberg because it's Mardi Gras.
They had to change the color from brown to green to appease the censors.
Well, what it made me think of was Rick and Morty. Because there are times when he comes up and he's got vomit hanging off of his mouth. And I'm like, oh, is this is Rick and Morty doing a nod to this specifically? It's very similar. It's and then it'd be on his face. And did he just keep going about his business? What do you think?
I think the things you say make God cry.
Well, wiggling it certainly does. So
I do like that Bender gets his groove onto a Gloria Estefan song.
I think
Who doesn't?
I think we can all agree Gloria Estefan's pretty great.
Yeah.
That song's pretty great.
Well, to be fair, the Miami Sound Machine
agree.
accounts for a lot of that greatness.
Maybe they're just puppets she manipulates.
Can we get the rights to that?
One of them was her husband.
Can I
If
use
there's
that?
any listeners out
Can I
there
use
who
that
have
at the end of this episode?
if there's any listeners out there who have a Gloria Estefan podcast,
If there's any
Gloria Estefan and the Pod Machine,
if there's any
Gloria
listeners,
Pod Stefan,
if there's any listeners out there who have not been gotten by the rhythm, you're lying to yourself.
Although, it's interesting that he had that much rhythm because when he was a robot, he was not funky enough in his heart to be a Harlem Globetrotter.
he didn't have a butt. His body was just like a big metal tube, like a
Also,
small hot
being
water
funky,
tank.
that was not
Can't dance that well. By the way,
dancing
also,
that well. That had nothing to do with Bender can dance.
Well, then how
Do
if
the
he
bender?
can dance that well?
Do the bender?
If he can dance that well, how could he not be funky enough to be a Globetrotter?
There's way more than dancing well to being
there's
funky.
there's probably height.
No. It has nothing
no,
to do with
because they let everybody in the room be a Globetrotter.
We're specifically talking. No. Talking about funky. What does funky mean?
I don't have an answer to that, but
Yeah,
I've been
please move
I've been
on.
wanting to shove this in. Nobel Prizes are handed out in Stockholm
Yes.
every year. And the other thing was, have you ever seen the Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island? In the movie, there's a
No.
movie where they play robots.
Oh, I don't remember that.
That they were supposed to be these robots that
Are
were
they
like,
made out of coconuts?
look it up right now. They look kind of like Bender. And they're like the best basketball players there are. And all they do is pass and shoot. But the Globetrotters can't beat them because they play like regular basketball.
For those of you at home, if you're listening to this, for those of you listening, if you're listening to this in your car, pull over and look this up right now.
So
or
Or
look it
don't
up
pull
and
over.
get it.
wait. So the Globetrotters are playing regular basketball, not Globetrotter style basketball.
You mean on the
Just
episode
like-
of Gilligan's
yeah,
Island? They're
well,
just
it's not
like,
an episode.
Here you go, pass,
It's a movie.
shoot.
It's
Oh,
a
okay.
full-on
But
hour
it's
and a half movie.
But like a TV movie, though, right? I mean,
Well, yeah.
Or who knows? It doesn't
No,
matter.
I think
it was a movie.
I think it stormed the academies that year.
There's a lot of time
I think
spent on
Gilligan's
that.
Island versus the Harlem Globetrotters, right? So if you do look this up,
My
I'm
mouth
not
was agape when
saying-
Pete showed me the
I'm
picture.
not saying they look like Bender, but they look enough like Bender that you can see a robot like Bender can play basketball. But wait, I have to get there. So the whole reason the robots dominate, and then the professor sits down with the Globetrotters and he says, the only reason that the robots are beating you is because they're the best basketball players they are. They've copied every move there is. You need to play Globetrotter style basketball. So then the rest of it is like them, throwing a bucket of confetti and like spinning balls. And then they beat these robots who none of them jump or move. They literally just toss and pass.
Yeah.
So I don't think Bender can play Globetrotter style basketball.
Holy shit,
Holy
dude.
crap.
I'm glad we have an answer to that.
But I think he can play basketball.
Probably.
Just not Globetrotter style.
I thought he did, didn't he? Or was that?
If Gilligan's Island
Fry.
has taught us anything,
The other thing about that, though, looking at
Thank
that
you
image,
for taking me on that ride. I almost fell off a couple times. I'm glad I stayed
it
on.
had a good payoff.
is why do robots have to wear trunks?
No, those
Well,
robots.
it's just so you know what team they're on.
Wait, Horchie, have you ever eaten nachos and gone to the bathroom at the same time?
No.
It feels very on brand for you, and I
Have
wanted
you ever
to make sure.
eaten-
I agree.
Have
It
you ever
does.
eaten while taking a shit?
No, that's one line I've.
I will not cross that line.
That's.
I don't want food in my bathroom.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
rodeo I
or
have not
poo in
signed
my
up for.
kitchen for that.
One
matter.
time, I walked into my bathroom with a plate of food, just to grab something,
Go- I
and then I
turned
was
on, go on.
like, didn't want to eat it anymore.
Yeah, I know. You know what you mean? Yeah, food.
I was like-
yeah. Have you ever been?
I put it in the
chewing
microwave and
something
killed
gone to the
anything that was
bathroom and
probably
you're
on
like,
it.
I need to finish chewing this outside of the bathroom. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't going into that thing. No,
I know. I just want to hear what you have to
actually,
say.
no, my best friend Dave at one point said his claim to fame was that he's eating Taco Bell while taking a shit. And I was like, that just seems like the cycle of life.
That's like an Ouroboros. It's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
the head eating the tail.
I would have said Ouroboros, but that would have just been a local nod to the reggae community.
Is that how they say that?
That's probably Ouroboros.
I mean,
I just assume reggae fans don't know how to pronounce that.
I
thought they
pronounce
were more
that
of a-
wrong every time I see it, just like posthumously.
I thought they were more of a jam band.
Who?
It doesn't matter. They're just
Who are we talking about?
Ouroboros.
So, local. I always thought reggae, but I don't know. Never seen them.
Yeah.
No, didn't care to.
No.
As I don't
They're
care to
a
see,
playing the stage at Lakewood Park on a Sunday afternoon kind of band. I
don't care to see 32,
That sounds like a
12,
really good
94, the numbers band.
Happy
either.
song.
Do they always change the numbers?
They do.
That seems very complicated.
I don't like that I gave them that much of a nod. So before we leave this episode, if that's what you're gearing up to do.
No, I'm
okay,
still way into it. I mean,
All right, yeah. Come back to me before we end. I just have one thing to add.
when the goodbye moderation line, I could sympathize with that completely, but I laughed out loud at DUI Fridays. Like that stupid pun
Yeah.
made me just lose my shit.
I didn't get the Dinkin' Donuts. Is that Mayor Dinklage?
Mayor David
Mayor
Dinkins of
Dinkins.
New York.
I don't know where I came in the other one.
And that's like a
That's
callback
Mayor
to
Peter
another
Dinklage.
episode.
It's for David Duke, right? Mayor David. No. I kind of thought it was like a thing, but the fact that I forgot made me think like I don't see any younger people getting that reference.
Oh, not
I
at
did not
all.
get that.
Dude.
I just
And I really
I
try
thought
to
if they
look
couldn't
at-
use Dunkin' Donuts, so they used Dinkin' Donuts.
No, but he wasn't mayor.
Yeah,
whoever
yeah.
Probably
on the
mayor
picture.
around then.
Yeah.
He was on the
Yeah.
picture. But what bothers me though is like, I feel like comedy, entertainment, it should all be fairly timeless. I get it, like haircuts and whatever, but like when it's a cartoon, if you start dating yourself hard,
But they
Like if you
think
drive
about
around
every
in
cartoon-
a sweet van
think
wearing
about
an
every-
ascot
think
and
about
whatnot, and
every
some mini
cartoon
skirts.
that was on TV for a year or two or three or four, and no one's heard of since. You know what I mean?
Look
Like,
how
they
many
don't
times
know. What about
Simpsons have redone like storylines of how things happen to
look at Looney Tunes?
continue
When
on
you were a
that,
kid,
yeah.
did you get any of those references to any of those actors?
well, no, but when Looney Tunes came out, they were shown before movies. So I think they were meant to
All right,
be
fair enough.
taken
Then it was also
immediately.
like one
And-
of the first. But
And like I get it, there's some stuff in The Simpsons, but Futurama takes place in the future. So that reference that is a very now thing makes it even way more dated. Like, so I guess that
This sounds like a point I would make, and I appreciate you for doing it. Sean.
Well, I just feel there's some things, like I said with the TiVo, it was
Yeah.
like, man, you really were banking on that joke being like a timeless. And maybe
were they?
Maybe
though?
it was the end.
But think about at that time. Yeah, DVDs were out and stuff, but people weren't streaming. Everything wasn't
yeah,
available.
maybe.
It was people made shows and they were like, "This is kind of it. Well, it'll be on this week and maybe never again, but they'll buy it on the box set or whatever." You know what I mean?
There
Like they
could
weren't
be a
thinking in
point.
that. Not like now where it's
But that's not necessarily true because I do think shows think about trying to be a little timeless.
Now they just do
All
period
the time,
pieces in the
but-
past, so they don't have to fucking worry about it.
Yeah, but like, all right, like Get a Life with Chris Elliott, love it. It's obviously dated for the clothes and the hair, but any reference he makes is
Or
from,
just the
like,
fact that he's a paper
80.
boy and that job really doesn't exist anymore.
though also
Well, that's
or the
this
movie
is still
Airplane.
back
Who's
then.
ever heard of an airplane?
no
He's right. In the year we are now, I believe it's further in the future than Airplane 2, and we are all flying spaceships to take vacations on the moon.
Spaceships.
But,
All
no.
right, Grandpa, I'm teleporting.
Futurama does also there's certain episodes that we've done that like actually like come back around to what's going on now and kind of almost make the joke even funnier
True.
because things are going on similar to that. So
But I mean, well, you brought up The Simpsons before. They did that too when it was like, "Don't blame me, I voted for Kodos."
yes, yeah.
There's always like universal humor. But when
That's why
but when you-
Nostradamus has been so famous.
But like when you like choose in your movie to like reference clear Pepsi, it's like, do you really think when you make this movie that's supposed to be a timeless film that clear Pepsi is going to be a reference everyone's going to get.
Or any
No,
of those.
I think
movie
what
are you
they're
talking
I'm
about?
just
I
looking
think
at it
what
that
they're
way.
getting is
Are you talking about Back to
Pepsi
the
giving them a
Future?
lot of money to make it a reference in their
what
movie.
movie are you talking about?
Or like any of the scary movies or any of those parody movies that they made
Some of
after.
it was that, yeah.
Huh?
I think some of it was, yeah.
Oh yeah, like all
It's
that
just
stuff is
product
all like,
placement.
when
Like,
that movie
it's-
comes out, it's like this is really funny for 2 months.
Right now, yeah. Yeah, exactly, because it's referencing
It's,
things that
you know what? If you
aren't gonna
watch
catch
Naked
on.
Gun, which,
I'm not
which
gonna-
Naked Gun
oh,
has a
hang
lot
on.
of universal humor.
I'm not gonna
there is
sit
stuff in
here
there that it's like, well, that Michael
and
Jackson
let
joke
you
isn't funny
impugn
anymore.
Wayans Brothers movies.
But people will
I like him.
people will always know Michael Jackson.
Okay, but you know what I mean. Okay, not a good. Not
in
a
the
good.
third Scary Movie, there's a reference to the what is it, Eric Bana, Incredible Hulk movie.
Yeah,
and it's like,
there you
oh
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're really banking on in 20 years people
this
are going to be
being-
like,
oh yeah, like ET.
no
or,
one
yeah,
will have
no.
no idea.
Yeah.
Was that the Ang Lee one?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not the Edward Norton one. That was somebody else.
Yes.
You wouldn't like me when I'm Ang Lee.
Oh gosh.
British comedian got in trouble for making that joke to Ang Lee. And Ang Lee was like, that's racist. And I was like, he's like,
We've spent.
I
I've
don't think
heard
so
this
if I
story.
say it. It's on. I don't remember the comedian. He's British. He might be Scottish. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He made the joke to Ang Lee, and Ang Lee got mad. And it's like, it's really not racist if you're making a pun joke to the person and that's their name. That's fair game.
Yeah, no.
That's fair game.
It's really not.
And it's an
all
Incredible
that's-
Hulk reference.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Let's just listen to that pod. Or that
Let's go figure who that is.
We've spent 5 times as long as this first part was discussing this first part.
So why didn't
getting
the
on
professor
things.
just
That's why we're
video
fun.
tape the transformation?
Why didn't he?
Yes.
Because he's the professor.
Why didn't anyone else mention that? Because that would have solved the whole fucking problem where they're like, we don't believe you. This is just a giant man ball.
True. Or why wouldn't the professor
He's done it in the past. He's videotaped holograms of what's going on so they can be played back later. And all he had to do was like, here's my experiment. Jeff Goldblum did that in The Fly in like 1986.
Because Pete, what if Bender was made human? Professor would just not remember to film it.
if you've seen King of Quarters, the video doesn't always hold up. Got to see it in person.
You mean King,
King
of
of
Kong?
Kong?
I'm sorry, whatever. If you've seen King of Kong,
Got it.
can
Can we get it one more time just for safety?
If you've seen, can you do it as Shatner?
If you've seen King of Kwong, I'm sorry. If you've seen King of Quarters,
Always King
You know
Kong,
what?
never
Are we
King
sure
Kwong.
there isn't a fucking like
Wait,
Netflix documentary about some frat boy who's the king of playing quarters,
Maybe.
like the drinking game?
so
There probably is.
where I was going though, there's other. I like. Why didn't he just turn him into? Why didn't he already checked it on the raccoon? Why didn't he turn him into a robot? Why didn't he turn him into a human in front of everyone? Way more impressive.
Or just, yeah. Or he could have turned into an animal.
Or
whatever.
like, okay, I'm banking on the Nobel Prize. You're not allowed to leave my site.
And
know?
Well, he ran
which
off.
Nobel
Like-
which Nobel Prize did he?
Just so chemistry, I guess.
What?
No, that other guy.
No. Yeah. Bender.
Just to make you feel a little bit better, Sean. When you Google the King of Quarters, it brings up a bunch of shit for the King of Kong.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're welcome.
It's just
I just save people a bunch of time
yeah.
who thinks that the movie's about King Kong or something.
Do you think bloated
Gorillas
man ball
can't be
bender
donkeys.
washed himself with a rag on a stick?
Oh, I did think that for a moment.
It was very, very like that whole Homer obese thing when the moo and then Bart fantasizing about it which is, I mean, that's a line I can't get out of my head.
Bart was in a moo. Lisa was in a moo when she was married to Ralph.
There's a lot of
Oh
moo
yeah. Bart was in a.
Bart was
like in a
naked, I
tub
think.
or
Homer
something.
was in a
Yeah.
moo.
No,
And
Lisa
no,
was in a
no,
moo
Lisa.
too when
And Homer was in a moo.
and yeah, and he had the hat.
Barney was in a moo once, probably.
I feel like after every
Barney was in a diaper.
The grilled cheese in
And then
the
it flew away in
underboob
his mom's house.
was maybe one of the grossest things I've seen on this show.
You know what? I thought it was just cheap.
It
Like,
was
what?
just like
the grilled cheese
Oh,
in the
God.
underboob.
cheap,
It was
easy
gross.
laugh.
Yeah.
And like, if they played up the grossness, there's an episode of Ren and Stimpy where like a guy's ear slides off.
Yeah.
And they made it so gross looking that it's like, it's hilarious.
Oh, there's so much stuff on Reddit
Yeah,
to
so
be
this
just
was just
stomach
like,
churning,
oh yeah,
though.
grilled
No,
cheese.
I just
and fat
whatever
folds,
like
and it's
brown
Jesus.
fluid was
Jesus.
left over after. I was like, that's a combination
Now,
of grease
if-
and human grease and arm.
If the grilled
It-
cheese
and
was like
just-
sealed and wrapped in like aluminum foil or something,
Or-
would it be okay then? It would then be kind of warm.
Or what if it was a greased cheese?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Would you eat it then? Certainly wouldn't when it was just like, skin to skin underboob. But if
How
it was
about-
like,
you could just say no.
I'm
Like
just,
there's
If-
never a point that in the life I'm living right now,
yeah.
I will ever eat a grilled cheese that someone's produced
What if
from a fold in their
What if
body.
you were on the toilet at the time?
What if it was sealed in a sealed
I'm just saying right now, you could none.
What if you called Uber Eats?
None.
And the
Nothing.
guy shows up at your door with a delivery and he's like, here's your tacos.
I'm only saying my life right now. You could figure out scenarios where obviously I'd eat that.
Yeah. No, I'm
you
not
could
saying if
figure
you're
out a scenario
starving.
where maybe like I want to eat that. But right now,
They
there's
call it-
never a point like I don't care how he prepares it. It's like, A, why do I want a grilled cheese? And B, why do I want the one that's been like
Well,
held warm in someone's body?
Because
They
grilled
do
cheese
call-
is delicious.
The buttocks, nature's pocket.
This is
I
true.
get it. I get it. Well, I guess I didn't get that.
Every time-
I always called it my wife's pudding.
Oh dear.
Every time we go off on a long
Chocolate
tangent, can
pudding.
we
Wait,
come back
wait.
with
Your
is,
Chocolate
this?
pudding.
your butt or her
Go ahead.
butt?
Come on, Pete.
Well, like your wife's pudding pocket.
I want to hear what Horchie had to say.
But is that like
Yeah.
is it your?
I, for one,
Pete
would
had
like to hear what
something
Horchie
really,
has to
really-
say.
I'm just
Way better.
trying to parse the language. That's all. It's ambiguous. Like because it could
Oh,
be
I'm
hers because she owns it, or it's hers because it's on her body.
Wait, ask me it again.
Because the pudding pocket is your wife's.
Hey, can you grab me whatever like Budweiser product is in the back of that fridge?
Was that whole thing like an Elephant Man homage towards the end where Bender speaks?
No, it was the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I'll get you one.
Was that okay?
You want this?
But isn't there that whole
Thanks.
thing in the Elephant Man too? Like I'm not an animal. Da, 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 da.
I don't think he yelled sanctuary.
No, but I don't think he yelled sanctuary in this, did he?
I didn't see any Ellie Fit Man.
I hope you don't edit that out.
Of course not.
Yeah, well, wait, what was the reference? Because I'm thinking of some other.
This is when
entire-
Bender did his little monologue at the end.
Oh. Yeah, that was very Elephant Man.
Can you repeat it?
Or something. That's
No.
definitely a reference. He's like, am I, or, just his whole monologue about like, is my way of life not good for some people, or is there not some merit to my,
I thought there was
you know,
like a
debauchery and
walk a mile in my
Something.
shoes.
yeah,
I mean,
that
something
kind of
like
like. That could have easily been some kind of reference to.
And then it
something.
just
It's
turns into
really
a
at the
fucking
time.
crazy
There's a reference to
keg
Scary
party
Movie 3.
with all of the
Basically.
woos escaping from his body.
So, what I've been waiting to say this whole time, the biggest laugh I had was when they rolled him out.
Woo!
Yeah, they do that, and I believe it's Botchamania 340, where a female wrestler's rolling out of the ring, and they overdub the. All right, let's get her out of here.
Really?
Our listeners that
Botchamania is pretty amazing, guys.
what is Botchamania?
It's basically a guy in England takes current wrestling clips and then any classic whatever, but it's all fuck ups and
Bloopers.
hearing people talk in the ring to each other. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like just anything.
Yeah.
And that one was a wrestler who's the Rock's cousin, I believe,
Okay.
and just in some, I think it was. I want to say it was a battle royale. It was just on an episode of Raw. I don't know for sure. But basically, as it kind of zoned in on the winner, Nia Jax just kind of slowly rolls out of like the camera shot out of the ring, but you just hear like, let's get her out of here. Woo! And I was like, oh, it's Futurama, but I didn't know. So when I watched it, that was the biggest laugh I got. I was like, ha, it's Botchamania. I believe 340. If your listeners have never checked out Botchamania, there's I believe
How do you spell that?
as of right now,
Like the word botch, like
B-O-
How many T's are in it?
BOTCHAMANIA. And I think they're up to episode 347.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Chaz
it's,
Monticelli.
how do you spell that?
subscribes.
THRE.
it's amazing. I recommend it to anyone who thinks it might be funny. It's funny. For local people, it's like a Crazy Dave tape.
Oh yeah.
But only wrestling, and then just all sorts of. They throw in so
It
many
is a lot
Simpsons
like a Crazy
references.
Dave tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Good.
they throw in so many
Like a Norton
Simpsons
Furniture
references.
commercial or something like
There's
that.
Futurama
that level
references. It's great. It's great. Botchamania, guys.
The aftermath
Also,
of
check
that,
out Crazy Dave
Botchamania
tape.
YouTube.
that,
Check out
that
a local Cleveland
And Crazy Dave.
pre-viral viral.
the
might get a
you know what? Let's
viral
just talk
infection
about,
watching
let's
it.
just talk about Crazy Dave.
the
I did.
aftermath of that party, just seeing
Their
all of
YouTube
the scientists just like torn the fuck up. That was interesting.
When they were really upset that human Bender died.
Well, just in general, where they're like, they do the pan and
They
everybody's
have,
like
the
half
old
dressed.
lady
and like,
scientists just
I mean,
in their
they-
bra and
They
underwear
raged
and
for 12 hours.
yeah, it was that looked like a killer party. They're
I'm
probably
gonna-
like making crazy synthetic drugs and stuff.
I'm going to assume that they had a bar there.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
if they
it's an
didn't-
academy. Of course
If they
do.
didn't, I'm not going to give you 12 hours. But if they had a bar there, all right.
Who are Katrina and Xanthor?
Well, I know Katrina and the Waves did that big 80s hit.
No, they
and then
showed
there was,
up.
And then there was Hurricane Katrina.
Dude, she was like a
that's two.
fairy.
Do you guys know any other?
I mean, were
Hold
they
on.
like
Sean's about to solve a Riddler puzzle.
Were they-
Adam West style?
were they characters from like other
Which takes
No,
us back
or
to characters.
just-
They were
Characters are in movies.
non
Futurama.
sequiturs?
now, you know what I felt like it was they threw to, what's his name, Rusty?
Scruffy.
Scruffy.
Scruffy. I'm sorry, guys. They threw to Scruffy.
Randy. His name is Randy.
He never heard of you either.
Edit out that part where I didn't know what I was talking about. Edit everything together to make me sound like I'm like the best. And if you can edit it together where it sounds like I drive a really cool car.
How many
be all right.
bathrooms? How many
Wait.
bathrooms?
Do you want me to edit
Rick,
you?
Rick, give me 1 second.
It has.
I mean, you guys know I drive a real dope car, right? I mean, you've seen the car I drive, guys. Use that one. That's
So
better.
we're gonna
You've seen-
Cheering.
It has-
audience cheering sound. Honking car sound.
Not
all
one.
of you guys have seen the car I drive.
Not two.
Not that I make a big deal
Can
about
you
but
just say
3 pudding pockets.
Hold on, Jorge, can you just say right now and special guest Chaz Monticelli, and I can just put that at the beginning, and then you'll sound awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know if Katrina and Xanthor were just references to other things or if they're just like, here's 2 non sequiturs.
Yeah,
No,
just
I think it was
something-
fine because the last guy kind of looked like Star Trek-y.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they were like, let's throw to Scruffy, and then here's an even weirder person and an even weirder character.
Yeah.
Here's an even weirder character.
No, I get it. It's just there are like, I think there's about a 60-40 split when I ask a question like that. It's like, oh, yeah, they come back later.
No,
So that's what I was getting
they've
at.
never been back.
And okay, so this is just a one-off garbage joke.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, well, that one-off
Don't
garbage
ever
joke,
speak of them again, Pete.
that
Who are
one-off.
Katrina and Xanthor, Tom?
Hurricanes, and they're coming.
Katrina
with each
and
other?
Xanthor.
Simultaneously?
Never mind.
I just
What?
nothing.
What happened?
It's so far away.
Listen, you ignorant pigs. Put down your crap pipes and beer bongs.
I didn't, you know what? I didn't like the crack pipe line because I felt like he should have ended with the more extreme one. You know what I mean? I would have been like, put down your scratch offs and crack pipes or scratch offs and beer bongs.
I feel like
another
Nixon
low
would
rent
be.
thing.
Nixon would approve of
Hey, I get
scratch
it.
offs.
I get it. I'm just.
He wouldn't disparage those.
I thought that joke was good, but it really was like crack pipes and beer bongs just felt like too drastically. One's a party drug, and the other one someone gets horribly
and
addicted
the other one's
to.
a really crazy party drug.
When it was a party drug, the other one is shoving beer down your throat.
Yeah, it's like you only do that at a frat party, and then hey, a serious drug that people have a massive addiction with. It just felt like, I would think he'd be more out of it than that. Well, I guess it is several hundred years in the future.
I really like, we're on to this next
Yeah.
Tales of
Without
Interest,
naming.
right?
Before we get on to the next one, is Bender still missing for a week? And that's it.
Oh,
That was a really good line. Zoidberg exposition is
That was pretty
fantastic.
good. Zoidberg had a lot of like lines.
They're
that were
figuring. They're
outside
right
of
now
the
where
world.
they figured out like, okay, the three main guys, whoever the like guest character is, throw in Zoidberg, just have him hang out with them and say little Zoidberg stuff, and they're doing that more, and they figured out that he can just say like Zoidberg stuff, and it's funny because of that voice. Honestly, he can kind of say anything.
I mean, that was really succinct the way you put that. I agree.
Monkeys aren't donkeys.
So, at what point? I mean,
That is one of my favorite lines of all time in
It's so
this
good.
series.
And it's just, if you look at it written down, it's so symmetrical. It's just the alliteration, everything. It's really fucking beautiful. It's not alliteration, it's consonants. But regardless.
so
Wait, I know what succinct mean. Was it, or was that sarcasm? Wait, no, go ahead.
So can I just say pixels? One of us has to say pixels. We absolutely have to say the movie Pixels
yeah.
because this episode is the
What is
movie
Pixels?
Yeah,
Shut the French
Adam
door.
Sandler.
It was a movie that came
kinda
out.
stopped.
Where Adam Sandler's
like 2 years
basically
ago.
Fry, and it was like a massive Hollywood film where aliens found we sent things into space.
This 6-minute episode.
It's exactly
we-
what
we
this
s-
episode is.
We sent like
Exactly.
a signal into outer space in
Okay.
like the early 80s.
Okay.
And then aliens found it and thought that was an act of war.
Okay.
And so they retaliated by sending aliens here that were basically these video game
Pac-Man
things.
and things.
Oh yeah, Pac-Man,
Is,
Space Invaders,
Adam
Donkey Kong.
Sandler saves the universe then?
Well, Adam Sandler was a guy who was like the best video game arcade player there was. And I remember Tom had a really Tom's gone. But
I
anyone
really,
who's
really,
seen-
no, I
He's
really,
anyone
really.
who's seen Pixels knows that there's maybe it's random. There's no way it's random. No
So
way.
they, like,
I've seen this and that. No, yeah.
They're like, we have a development deal with this studio. We got to come up with another
Well,
story
I mean,
concept.
I wonder if Fox put out Pixels.
I really just used to enjoy Adam Sandler movies so much.
You know what?
Like Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, as dumb as they
they're
are,
great.
they're
great.
just
don't try to like play that off. Those are
no,
funny,
they're so
funny, great movies. What I heard someone say once about Adam Sandler, and it's beautiful, is that Adam Sandler's great when someone else is telling him what to do, but when he decides what's going on, it's garbage. And I mean, his first couple, obviously, he probably had a hand in it, but
Yeah.
like, look at Punch Drunk Love. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Funny People, like even the like 3-hour extended one, Adam Sandler is a joy to watch. He's great. But when you're like, let him do these movies where he's like, oh, you mean I can spend 6 months in Africa? Sure, why don't I remake the movie I made 1 million times and it'll make money the week people see it? And then never remember the name. I don't remember the name. But
Sandy
you know what I'm talking
Wexler
about.
on Netflix.
Oh, I haven't watched it.
It is a good Adam Sandler movie.
Really?
It is really good.
I heard it's.
I didn't watch that, and I gave him the credit of The Cobbler, where he owned a magic shoe store. And then somehow got embroiled with like some sort of street hustler.
I never saw Eight Crazy
garbage.
Nights. Was that any good?
That, you know what? That what is it? The Ridiculous Six. I watched 5 minutes of it and stopped when Adam Sandler like ran somewhere on his hands in fast motion.
I finished it. It was I don't know, an hour and a half and 5 minutes of comedy.
So
Good
Pixels,
comedy.
So the rest of it was just a hardcore serious.
Pixels was based off of a short film. So whoever wrote that short film,
Oh shit! Rabbit hole.
I'm
Patrick
just
Jean.
saying it's got a lot of similarities. You know what? I'll give Pixels.
It's got a lot of similar elephants.
What I'll give Pixels over this, and I told Thomas this earlier today. Why is Pac-Man? He's just Pac-Man.
He's General
He's a general.
Pac-Man.
He's gone through all these ranks. All these other aliens, they're the video game stuff. In the dumb movie Pixels, Pac-Man's part of that. That seems to make way more sense than
all the
there's
video
just a
games
race
are
of Pac-Man
attacking,
and-
but they have one video game guy that's like a general in the army,
And that's it.
I
He's a
get that.
token.
Yeah, when he brought that up, I was like, oh yeah,
There isn't another one, is there?
He's a token.
No, I mean, I think they make
only
reference
thing
to
that
other
bugs
video games.
No,
in
but I'm
the-
saying there isn't any other video game characters that are on their side
But-
on Earth.
I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I believe when they first show up at the base, there might have been another video game character when they show the whole room. But before he
Well, wait.
but-
Mario was the ambassador for Italy.
Oh,
that is true.
shit. All right.
But Mario's
And-
still a human. But
This is-
Is he?
but he-
Mario's a Mario.
I think there might have been someone in the background before he did you need the blue key to walk in.
Yeah.
I thought there
Okay,
might have been.
all right.
So they might have set a precedent. I'm just saying,
Pretty weak, though, but
seeing
yeah.
the movie Pixels, it was like, well, of course, Pac-Man should be one of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guys.
and that is
Fine.
how they get away with not being sued by Fox on that.
In this Futurama storyline, it's just that the world is video games, so it doesn't have to be that they're getting. That's not the only thing about it. Is that
The other thing is this story in the show is really basically Independence Day. So then Pixels becomes an Ouroboros of stories stealing from stories, stealing from stories.
Are you only saying that because when Fry punches that guy from Afterburner in the face?
No, I'm saying that because Fry is the best video game player in the world, just like Will Smith was like the best pilot. And that's why they gave him the thing that says, like, you're going to be our savior by putting this thing in here. And then that's going back past Independence Day to the last Starfighter. And then it's turned into a whole thing.
Yeah, so like Will Smith flew a jet like an Afterburner.
Wait, huh?
I just mentioned some loose Afterburner reference before, and it didn't make any sense. And then,
I don't know what a loose afterburner is.
oh, it's a video game.
Oh, okay.
It's like you're in a jet. So I was like,
Gotcha. Does Anthony Edwards die?
is that the librarian?
No, that's Goose.
No, in the show, the librarian, Anthony Edwards. Isn't that the older nerd brother in Revenge of the Nerds?
yeah?
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, he's the librarian.
He's a
from
nerd
the-
friend. They're not nerd
from
brothers.
Librarians. No, he was
yeah,
his
you're
older
right,
brother. Are you?
It was
no,
Oh,
also-
I
his
think
older
they're just
brother.
friends.
Because we're
First
skipping
one,
over
I'm gonna look
I mean,
it up.
I'm not
No.
like,
And I'm not
the
saying
expert,
it
but I think-
argumentatively,
Yeah, same
but
here.
I
Same
feel
here.
like
I thought they were just
Lewis
friends.
and Gilbert were just friends. I mean,
we can keep talking about it. 'Cause
Gilbert's older brother was a wandering.
Wait, wasn't Lewis
Karate.
eating Gilbert's grape?
It's the wandering Buddhist monk.
I know that. Well, maybe you'll keep this on the podcast, but if I was Johnny Depp and What's Eating Gilbert Grape, I would have thrown him off that water tower and been like, he fell.
Was that
It's like you want to like have that, like you've got a family member that for the rest of your life, if you just leave him in the bathtub, he'll drown.
Was that the
Or
beginning
just
of his
stay until he
unfortunate
dies?
headgear?
It just makes no sense, man. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
You're also talking about the plot of Stuart Little. You couldn't leave him in the bathtub by himself.
One ship is left only.
I mean, if it gets better, that's fine. But if I'm like a 70-year-old man and I'm like, oh, well, my 45-year-old son will just drown if I leave him in the tub, it's like, what kind of life is that?
I don't know.
Well,
Sean.
I guess what I'm saying is he deserved the Oscar.
How are we
'cause
getting
We're
here?
talking about it right now.
Drop down. Reverse direction.
I'm not good at Space Invaders at all. And you know what? Fry is not the best video game player in the world. Well, maybe he's still alive, but Yancey would technically be the best.
Yancey's dead.
No, well,
I know, but
just,
he
no, he
would
came
beat
in at
the-
the last minute, though. So maybe he was terrible at everything other than shoot
I think
where
you're supposed to
shoot where I'm
assume
supposed
that
to go. or be.
Yancey's, better than Fry.
But
wait, huh?
At video games.
Yes, but Yancey's dead. Like, you can't be
Yeah,
like...
no, you're right.
You can't be like, Trump is the biggest asshole in
I'm
the
not
world.
agreeing
There's
with
been
Tom on
bigger
that. I'm just saying
assholes
that-
before. He's just like one of the biggest right now. And when he...
I will, talking about all of this just made me realize Fry couldn't even beat the first board of Space Invaders.
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
like they showed him like in a ton. So it's like, oh, you're the best? Like,
He's the best
I
right
think
now.
I'm better
the
than
best right now.
He's the only
Yeah.
one that has experience with those those tactics.
It was also Fry's What If, so he was the center of the story.
be
And
fair.
also he had Jasta.
To be fair.
And his
Shasta.
Rush mix.
Shasta.
Shasta? Was
Yeah.
it Shasta?
Yeah.
Oh.
Where did you get Jasta?
That was the other one.
Because that was...
Jasta was the other caffeinated beverage that died.
I think you can still get Shasta.
No, but it was Shasta. Tom said Jasta.
No,
That was a real drink, right? Jasta?
Yeah.
was
I
a
don't
real
even know
drink.
what the fuck is going on right now.
I just told you it was another caffeinated
'Cause
drink that
Fry-
That died.
anywhere.
You said that died.
Yeah.
But did Shasta die? Because I
I
think
mean,
it's
either
still
way,
there.
do you see it anywhere?
Probably up at Mark's at the top of the street.
Oh my God,
Okay,
there
do you see-
probably is.
All right.
Quick to Mark's. They accept all major credit cards now. The third piece, this third story, I feel like the second story here, the video game one, I feel like it kind of had an anticlimactic ending. It was kind
The
of
second
dumb.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. It just.
I
Have you
was saying
smelled
that
Donkey
earlier.
Kong's loincloth lately? Like, we need quarters to do our laundry.
Except,
We
you
can
know what?
share
Yeah.
When Qbert came out,
with Dwight.
when they came out of the thing, it's Qbert,
Yeah.
right? That's
Letter
the name
Q,
of the
hyphen Bert.
Not to be confused with Qbert, Professor's clone.
Right.
But what he says is backwards. Where can a guy find pants around here?
Oh.
Really?
Yeah,
Did you?
Infosphere.
Did you? Oh, so you didn't actually take the audio and then reverse it?
No, but I'm going to, and I'm gonna play it right here.
All right, but you have to start Pink Floyd's "Dark Side of the Moon" at the same time, and they sync up perfectly.
Exactly.
He's still talking about the second one.
I know. I've seriously just like
Did you guys move on
dissociated
to
about
the
15
third?
minutes ago. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just not present.
Did you guys move on to the third one?
We're doing that right now. We started,
well,
and then I
I-
had some closing
ahead.
thoughts.
I had some
Yeah,
stuff.
so did I. Go ahead.
What really bothered me with this episode was why didn't they use actual video game noises? They did a little bit,
yeah.
but the rest was just like wagga wagga. It would have made me. I would have been so much more into it if it was Pac-Man, actual Pac-Man noises. When he died, especially.
Well,
do you
that
mean,
was
well?
no.
It was like-
The actors on that show were doing their facsimiles of it,
but
and I
not
think
even
that's
close
yeah. Well,
sounding.
then they were
though.
bad
It's
at
like-
it. I'm just saying,
well, in the
they
beginning,
were like, we're gonna have you guys do it. I think that'll be more charming
in
if the.
the
I'm saying that they're
beginning
thinking
of it though. They used actual video game
Yeah.
noises. So
The Space Invaders noises, those were
they
all.
didn't, I'm just saying they didn't.
Maybe
set
they
a
ran out of
precedent by
licensing
That's
money?
all it is.
Probably.
They just couldn't pay for it.
That would be a better answer. That's
That's
a far
what I
better
think it is.
answer.
But
I think it just
It's a more likely answer.
it just lost me in that. It was like
I mean, they kind of answer that question when they in the next thing where they sing the Lollipop Guild song.
but they still could have made a computer noise that was and that's Pac-Man's death noise.
you guys
not
have
what
any-
Pac-Man did in that
It was
episode.
cheaper to pay the voice actors to do that than to pay
Or
the
that,
engineer
yeah.
to
But
make
they didn't do a good job.
the
then.
noise.
do you guys have any
I
go-to
would've been way more into it
three-letter
with-
swears? When
No,
you
I-
went,
But yeah, it's always ass, cum.
that's a new one. I've never seen.
I
that
can
one.
fit my
What do you
first
mean?
name
There's
in
only
it.
so many
TOM.
three-letter
Yeah.
dirty ones.
Or
How do you not?
CHA. And then they give me two more spaces because I'm Chaz.
You do-
And I don't even
Wait,
need
wait,
the
wait,
third
wait.
one
Wait.
or the fourth one.
There's
because,
two Z's.
No, only one Z,
Oh, I
but
thought
they
it was two
just give
Zs.
me no CHAZ.
in my head, this Chaz had two Z's.
and then you'll never know how to spell my last name.
Well, we know there's not a T in it.
There's no T in it.
But it sounds like there is because you drop all your T's.
It is a lot like Monticello, which it was Thomas Jefferson's house.
And Marijuana Farm and Rape Pad.
Yes.
That one.
But it's Monticello.
So I've been dying to say cum, tit, butt.
But that's a
ass.
conjunction. It's not.
It doesn't matter. I gotta give it to Hot Tub Time Machine. Sucks, cocks, dicks with X.
With
There you go.
X's.
Oh yeah. There's a bunch. There's a bunch of good ones.
You can get creative.
But ass is poo. Yeah. Poo's a great one.
Yeah.
But ass is number one. I mean,
Please.
if no one's done it,
216-438-1077. Text us your best 3-letter.
oh, there's tons. There's
Or a picture of what your 3-letter swear is. And we'll extrapolate what you meant to say
Guess you
as
get
3 letters
puss.
from that.
Puss could be there.
That it would be
It'd
pus.
be pus.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah, but you know what it means.
we're
Like
why it's
infected.
there.
to be fair, out of nowhere you might not, but if you saw a list, you'd know it's come.
That's
The
why
rest
it's
of them,
there.
come on. Yeah, I said nut. Like you look at him like that's not. We don't. But you know what it
That's
is.
a-
Well, I always
You know
It's a
what's
seed.
going on.
I would always do
I mean,
those.
I guess literally.
but I
it
would
is.
do a Looney Tunes censor and put like asterisks, hashtag, or
no
pound
special
sign.
characters.
I am so good at Joust. I spell out the word clitoris in descending letters, one letter at a time.
You just keep getting like the next positions. You get like position 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, Pete, that's how you win. That's how you spell it, clitoris. How else would I do it? I jailbreak the machine like I did that fire
The
stick.
fire stick.
It's literally just a stick on fire that he thinks he hacked.
Did the
Fixed it in
alien
his Xbox.
Did the alien language actually
Gary
say?
Busey shows up and goes, ha!
Oh, that's a good point.
Did the alien language actually say tales of interest?
Yes.
Yeah. That's
In-
kind of
in
boring.
How?
It
No,
when
I'm
they-
sorry. It,
Pete,
it
what
might
did-
have said tale of interest.
What did you think it might have said?
It could have said anything.
Yeah. You know what bothered me out of that? Of and whatever the alien language is still
two
two
letters.
symbols. 2 symbols. Come on.
it's you match it up. It's just the AL1 language. So you just each symbol
Yeah.
matches up to a letter of the alphabet. The second AL2 is much more complicated, which they'll start doing more as we go on.
What are those What do those letters mean?
Alien language 1 and alien language 2.
Okay.
Because people
The first
kept
one
crapping.
is just a simple cipher. The second one is
I
more.
honestly felt like a nerd just being on this, but the fact that now I know that,
yeah. Well,
and
I mean,
the short form of it.
it's not like we made up the names. It's all on that.
That's cool. I
web
just had a
page in
kid,
front
but
of
I
Tom.
am gonna kill myself now. so.
Oh no, Sean,
sense. Nah,
you
makes
haven't gotten to Caillou yet.
Oh!
Then you're gonna want to kill yourself.
I loved the All Rush mixtape. I'm sure someone
Yes.
else said it, but
Yes.
it was like a prime. And then I was like, you know what? I never really put 2 and 2 together with the Space
Me
Invaders
neither, yeah.
song.
Until like
in there.
because there's only like maybe 2 or 3 lines in
yeah,
that
I
moment,
just-
and
it
I'm
was
like,
great.
oh,
It was great.
and that
And
was a
I apologize to female listeners. Rush is a song that guys like for some reason.
Rush is a
And a
band.
band.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Rush.
Let me
Rush.
take one more.
wait. Okay, go
Let me
ahead.
take one
go
more.
ahead.
Let
go
me
ahead.
take
Rush
one
is
more.
a guy.
Take two.
And apologies to our female listeners out there. Rush is a band that guys like for some reason.
That guy's like for some reason, fuck.
So I went to
Don't worry.
I went to
Nothing can
Toronto.
possibly go wrong.
I went to Toronto a few months ago.
To
and
see the song Rush.
No, to see PJ Harvey, who was performing at Massey Hall, which is famous for being a place where Rush recorded a live album. That's not the hook in this story. The hook is the hotel we were staying in downtown Toronto has a restaurant called Hemispheres, which is like one of Rush's famous albums. I'm like, this is pretty fucking on point.
If
It
you
would
ever
be like
get
it would be like going downtown and staying at the Hilton, and their restaurant's called the Michael Stanley
if
Experience.
you ever get a chance to go to downtown Toronto
Yes.
and get a table at Hemispheres, you've got to try today's Tom Sawyer. It's whatever their corned beef is that day. But
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, it was really on the sly. Like, there was nothing else on the menu
comes
that
with
like
a mean
like nothing
side.
nothing cost $21.12. You know, but it just like this is really subtle and in that way pretty Canadian. Well played.
You know what? What pro wrestling superstar Chris Jericho, someone on his podcast pointed out that
is Canadian,
Canada,
right?
He is. That Canada is the only country in the world that I'm
Called
aware
Canada.
of that are completely like not content, proud to wear shirts that have Canada's logo on it. You know what I mean? Like if you go to America,
wait.
Like if you go to
wait.
If you go to
You don't
America,
ever see an asshole wearing an American
Have you
flag
ever been to
t-shirt.
America?
I saw 6 of them
Some
walking
of-
home from
some
the
of our
bar the other
listeners.
night.
Yeah, on the 4th of July.
No, this was last Saturday.
I don't think it's that common, but there it is like a thing of pride where there's not a like.
It is common enough.
It's not common enough, but it would be like it's like a country where they're all fine wearing I love New York.
The county fair starts in 2 weeks, Sean.
I get what you're saying because I've seen a lot of like stuff like poking like fun at Canada, and they're usually wearing something Canadian.
They're very
but I don't know if that is
Canada
just to be
pride.
like for Americans be like we're Canadian.
I just
Maple
mean-
leaves are just a cool motif.
I get it, but I'm just saying here you're making a statement if you're doing that. There, I don't think anyone calls.
Yeah,
you're
I get that.
making a statement because American patriotism
Makes a
kind of
statement.
makes you an asshole.
But
it's
theirs,
not
I
that
think
it's not
they're
that
very
our
proud to be
country
Canadian.
doesn't have its
the American
good
flag
things.
is alt-right. I'll say it right now.
It's just it's
Hey, it's USA, not USA.
my God. I just I think
It's gonna be our first
there are
completely unedited podcast.
I think there are probably it's not that people don't dress exclusively in American flag motif clothing. It's that we don't particularly hang around people that do. It's not that they're not out there and it isn't
I
prevalent.
just think that it's not that it's uncommon. It's just not looked at the way you're talking about it. You're like, we don't hang out with those people. I think it's very common to be super proud of being Canadian. Here, I think we look
you
at it
should
like,
be.
oh yeah,
I think being proud of
If any
America
of this is me making fun of them, it's
not
more
bad.
like- it's
we have
more
a
like-
problematic history.
It's more like here our
We
number
have a
one.
problematic fucking present.
I think it's more like there the number one name is Doug, and here it's like Tristan or some other.
I'll
Both
They're
names
well,
great.
They're a
Both
they're a
names
nation
great.
of Dougs. Is
goes-
what I was going.
Tristan, Horchie, Chaz is, I believe, the most popular boy names.
What about Xavier?
Or Xanthor.
Oh yeah, it's Anthor.
What about Katrina?
Katrina, the fairy Katrina.
Chaz Xanthor Horchie. The most beautiful name I've ever heard. Let's get into this third episode, which apparently, Sean, went from least favorite to favorite.
Yeah, it was.
Listen, you'll be happy to know that Tristan is not in the top 10 male baby names as of 2016.
That's not what I was. I wasn't doing that to make a line in the sand. It's just a throwaway joke. But what is
Noah and
horrible, awful? Actually, Emma's all right.
Emma's a nice name. Noah.
Noah's okay if you like 2 of everything.
Emma. This is a website on the America's Social Security Administration that can tell. Oh, I love it. This is just big data like crazy. Tristan in 2016 was the 108th most popular name. 101st. It had kind of a lull between 2006 and 2014 where it dipped down into double
Can
digits.
you do me a favor and just count all the way down to 1? But also, if there's dips and stuff.
Well, this
name that.
is I'm doing this on my phone, so it's
No, it's cool. I have to take a real big meat shit, so like just rattle through that.
After everything Pete says, can you add Scruffy's when he's on the broom?
oh god, I love
So
this.
yeah, this episode I hated the first time I watched it, and then the second time I watched it I realized it's the
Why?
strongest of the three.
I didn't ask you that outside. I want to know.
Well, the
why.
problem I had first was
When you guys got into that fight and you had to take it outside.
Excuse me.
it's they left out so many things that are big parts of the Wizard of Oz that I was like, this just feels jammed together. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of realized, like, if they had another like 5,
If it was
6
a
minutes,
half-hour episode.
No. I think a half-hour episode would have hated it. Mm-hmm. But if
You know
it
what
was
parts
just
they
a
left
little
out?
longer,
But you already did hate it.
They left
First.
out the songs. They left out the interminable fucking songs.
well, yeah. Where I was going with it though was that I felt like if they just took Pixels, which is the second episode, and then this one, and then just made that the whole episode, just 2, would have loved it. I think it would have given both episodes enough room to breathe, but since they're so thin premise-wise, it would have worked. And it was really like, at first, they just missed a lot of good chunks. But I think the jokes in this one were a little quicker and easier.
In the third one.
Yeah, in the third one.
Well,
And
because it's a
we
point
all-
of reference
we all
everyone
know it,
knows.
too. Yeah.
So
all
it's
of
a
that.
lot easier to make a joke by doing some sort of contradiction or reference because you can just bang, bang,
Yeah,
bang,
that's
bang,
true.
Yeah.
bang.
But I think it had the best lines in it. I was like, it had me laughing a little more. And then the second time around, I think they held up a little better.
Mm-hmm.
I just love Zoidberg just like showing up at the
And
cab.
I'm the
it's
other
like,
guy.
Well, you know what bugged me is if he just said, and I'm the other guy, I would have laughed my ass off. But then it was like courage and all that. It was like, we know what the third guy is. If he just showed up in a cab like, and I'm the third guy, and then it moves on, love it.
Yeah,
It
I like-
saves
yeah.
time.
But I
saves
still-
time, and
I
it's
like
a
both,
harder,
though. I
it's
like
a
both.
harder laugh though.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
And I'm the other guy, and then immediately they're
Yeah.
all walking. It would have
Yeah.
been like,
You're right.
Why didn't they take the
Yeah, you're
cab?
right.
it would have been.
Still good though, but you're right.
I
That
think
would
it was
be better.
just obviously to like explain to people who might not know the Wizard of Oz, like just some other like, oh, he's the lion, courage, or I don't know. But if they just threw that out, I was all for it. Especially because he wasn't involved in the other points. He just had to take a cab there, and
then to the other one later, like, and why did I have to? Yeah.
Yeah, it was enough.
Apparently, the man witch was Scruffy because he was around,
Oh, he was flying
flying
and then,
around,
Yeah, okay.
and then took
He
her,
had the boots. That
took
makes
his
sense.
boots.
The man witch?
I don't
The man
understand
witch,
that.
yeah,
When
that's
when she Leela comes out, the kid's like, "Oh, thanks, you killed the evil
Man
man
witch,
witch of the
yeah.
west or north or whatever."
Oh.
East.
I
didn't notice man witch until the second
I
time.
thought you were talking
Well, I
about
heard
a
him say
sandwich.
man witch, but I didn't think about
I think
any
that was
of
the
it.
joke in that.
No,
Yeah, a little bit.
like I didn't realize
Also.
that there was a. I thought she just
I'd
killed.
kill for a man witch right now.
Yeah, I'm
me
thinking
too.
about
I think
ground
it's-
beef and tomato sauce
It's funny too, bringing up the size of those boots a couple more times.
because they fit on
Knowing that
Leila's giant
Rusty
feet.
had them. Well,
Scruffy.
I can't do that again.
Wait,
But I thought
take
the-
two.
The big,
Knowing that Scruffy,
the big honking boots.
Woosty.
It was one of my favorite like lines in there. Just click your big honking boots together.
Woosty.
That was a good one.
But they have that whole like when she's down there, and then it's like the little Slurm guy, and then
Slurmworm.
yeah, and then
Hubert and Dwight.
Cubert and Dwight, not to be confused with the Cubert from the other episode.
no one would do that.
They both have fucked up noses. It's possible.
And they're always looking for pants all the time.
If Helen Keller was watching this episode,
She couldn't watch it. She was blind.
and you don't watch this episode.
I
It's a
really,
podcast.
no, the
Oh.
Futurama.
Is Helen Keller even a reference that people get anymore?
Yeah, I think they
Yes.
still teach second graders that story.
Do they?
Yeah.
You know what?
That's when I
I'm
learned
gonna
about
go
her.
wake my
Really?
daughter
Yeah.
up and ask her if she knows who Helen Keller is.
man, Catholic school, huh?
Yeah. No, yeah, we hit all that
Second
stuff.
grade, we're going to teach you guys about this deaf, dumb, and blind girl.
Yeah.
She didn't.
She
know
played
anything about
pinball like a motherfucker.
Stepped on my line.
I'm sorry.
Let me take that again. Deaf, dumb, and blind girl didn't know anything about pinball.
Was that a laugh off mic?
Yeah. I
Should
don't
that-
want people to think that I'm laughing at
Pete
anything.
Townsend's gonna sue the shit out of us now.
All right, take
Great.
3. I think that they taught you that because in Cleveland, water is a solid third language.
Ha
Huh?
I speak English, Spanish, and then if you just pour water on my hands, I'll get it. Splash, splash means
Oh.
You know what?
so Helen
wait.
Keller inside jokes.
So
That's
no,
too
no.
much.
My daughter just finished 2nd grade, and she does know who Helen Keller is because when we're eating dinner at the table, she'll grab shit off our plates, and I'm like, "Stop doing that!"
And then
you're
she
not Helen
responds with
Keller.
her mouth full, and you're
No,
like,
she
"Oh,
just-
you're Helen
she's
Keller."
like, she'll like reach over and pull shit off me and my wife's plates. I'm like, don't do like that. A, that's rude. B, it's gross. C, you're not deaf and blind. Like she got a pass on that. I remember reading a book about Helen Keller when I was a kid. Like the whole thing, she's like running around grabbing sausages off people's plates, and they couldn't do anything about
How
it
many
because
times was it
So,
not
wait,
a
wait, wait.
sausage?
so you're
they lived in a sausage-based diet.
so from the whole Helen Keller story, your daughter only took it's all right to steal food.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know. She doesn't know who Helen Keller is beyond the fact that they stop
she
acting
stole
like
food.
Helen Keller.
She's a growing
Man,
girl.
public
Maybe
school
she's just
education's, guys.
maybe you're not
Public
feeding her
school
enough,
education.
Pete.
She gets
Take it
fed
back,
plenty.
Porch.
If she could ask for more sausage and I'd put more sausage on her plate, the point is I don't want her grabbing it off of mine because it's rude and it's gross.
So this might make me sound dumb, but when
Oh, I think the last hour or so makes us all sound dumb.
when was Leela? When was she a mutant? Did they think she was a mutant in the beginning?
Still haven't found out yet.
Oh, really?
We're still at she thinks she's an alien and her only kind or whatever.
So she thought
So
she
when
was
she
a
asked
mutant,
that question-
but she thought she was a mutant earlier in the show.
No.
No.
She's always
What?
thinks she's an alien. She said
So
at the beginning
mutants
of this.
raised her, though. Well, I thought her mom and dad were mutants. Guy with the
We don't
We
know
haven't
that
gotten
yet.
there yet. That has
We don't know that
episode
yet.
hasn't
Oh, that
happened yet.
hasn't. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, that's
At
well,
the beginning, she says.
Well, I started with when does she know she's a mutant? Let me start this again, guys. When does Leela know she's a mutant? Because I thought it was at this
Later.
point, but it's not here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I knew that she thought she was a mutant earlier, and
No, she didn't.
I
She
mean,
thinks she's an alien.
I knew she thought she was an alien earlier. All right, take 5.
I knew
So,
she thought she was Rusty earlier.
it's Sean.
Podcast number 50, take 52. Click.
That sounded like he just thought of the number 50 and then added 2 to it.
But yeah, I just in there in the episode I wrote down when does she find out she's a mutant?
At some
So
point in the future.
I guess here she still thought she was an alien.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the when she asked the what if machine, it was what if what was the question? What if I found my home planet or they
Also-
found me or et cetera?
No,
Was
no. Technically, the Who Ask machine picked Leela after it picked Amy.
Yes.
Amy.
But was this thing that we just saw currently this third act of this
it was
episode?
her dream.
Podcast?
Was it
third
a
act of
dream
Yeah, it was
or
a
was
dream.
it the what
They
if
woke her up.
machine?
It was her
Yes,
dream.
It was their dream.
We don't know what we don't know what the other characters watched on the
Yes.
what if machine.
What was your favorite part about
That's
this,
very
this
meta.
episode?
This episode,
Or,
Thinking
I'm
that-
sorry, that's not this episode. What was your favorite part about this third act?
Who needs courage when you have a gun?
That was a solid one.
And then followed immediately by
maybe if
go
you
back,
had some courage, I could haul it away for you. Maybe.
Bender.
go, click your big honking boots together and go back to Kansas to live in poverty with your dirt farming
No,
teetotaling aunt and
that's
uncle.
the best line is back to poverty with your dirt farming aunt and uncle.
And
Yeah,
dirt farming
it really
teetotaling.
stands out.
And that's what it is in the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Like she's like, I want to go home, and then you go back, and it was like, there was a tornado where
Yeah,
you
it's
live.
the Great Depression. The
Yeah,
Dust
it's
Bowl is happening.
horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
And I thought is Leela known to have big feet?
Yeah,
they
Amy
managed
points it out a lot that she's got managed.
It's been a while since they made a joke
I
about it,
have
but it was a
watched
run.
Every episode of the show a few times, but it's
But not in
been
order.
long, and it's been
And
a
not in order.
while.
Yeah.
So there are times where I'm like a little iffy, but
Yeah. When we started this, I really thought
If we were
like
talking about-
I could probably just show up and not even watch these, and it's like, oh no, it's good.
if we were talking about Peggy Hill's feet, I know they're big.
Yeah.
back to
Embarrassingly big.
That's by
favorite
the way, guys, I want
lines
to have
of
all
this-
three of you on my King of the Hill
Big
podcast.
big feet and he has a small butt.
But no, one of the best. Back to the best lines of this episode is right at the beginning when Bender wants a human heart because he has a lot of blood to pump out of his basement. I thought that was funny. I
Yeah,
thought that was
I
my
forgot
favorite
about
line.
that
I
was
didn't
good.
catch that one. That's brilliant.
Mine after the other one was, oh, who would have thought a small amount of water?
Yeah, that was great.
And I always thought that as a
And
child.
honestly, I didn't until like whenever this episode came out, I was like, oh. Man, the Wizard of Oz really just didn't wrap it up at the end. They're just really this like it kind of. I'm not gonna say that the Wizard of Oz is it's a timeless classic. It's maybe it's not a masterpiece, but it is like it's a classic movie. There's a lot of innovation at the time in filmmaking, and
I'm
it's a
glad
fun
that
little
you're
story.
all right to be ballsy enough to say that maybe it's not a masterpiece.
He's a Wizard of
not.
Oz apologist, is what it comes down to.
Wizard of Ozologist is what that's what they call them.
But until this Futurama episode, I was like, oh yeah, huh.
I always thought that as a kid, the same way when I saw the movie Signs, I was like, oh, so you can just fucking
But
spit on it?
when I saw Signs, I was
like,
an adult.
Who,
you know,
But it's still like, so your whole thing
Sean
is
was
you're going to take
13
over
years
everything
old.
through sheer force, and then something that humans are comprised 90% of is what kills you?
yeah. And
So,
the
if
world is
so
80%.
So the Wicked Witch, everyone
Who
on
apparently
that
has
place
no water
could
in
just
her.
spit on her.
Yeah.
And she'll maybe die. At least she'll get
Or
a
at least
hole
she'll
in
get
her.
a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
And
the
then it's science
implication
too.
that
It's like if why do you want to take over a planet that like most of the
Is
time
acid.
it rains arsenic on
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
It's like what are you
And
gonna do
you're
with the
going to
planet?
show up with no.
Rick, what are you gonna do with the planet? What are you gonna do with it? Turn it into a weapons dump.
It's true.
Think about
It's just
it.
about power.
Think about it.
Just about power.
maybe they just wanted to hunt man.
The most dangerous
The most
game,
dangerous
Pete?
game, exactly.
The most. Oh.
Man is the most dangerous game. Oh, or super.
What's the second?
Rhinoceros.
What's the second?
Or
dangerous
Super Adventure
game?
Island
The
for
second
Super
most dangerous
Nintendo,
game,
that was,
Super Rhinoceros. Sean just said it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And then after that, it's the electric eel.
Oh yeah.
No, Super Adventure Island for Super Nintendo. That game was really hard. I couldn't get past the first level, but I
Oh,
kept
that was the
trying.
most dangerous.
Yeah.
Too bad you didn't have a Yancey around to help
If
you
I can
out.
take one more shot, I like to think the most dangerous game is hanging yourself while jerking off. Right? It's like it's a game because you don't have to do it.
carradine,
But it's a game because you don't have
Michael
to do
Hutchins.
it. But the stakes are high.
Is it Inception?
Maybe
If while I'm
Chris
doing that,
Cornell?
I'm fantasizing about dying while jerking off and hanging myself. Is that?
No, it's only Inception if while you're doing that you jizz in your own butt.
or your pudding pocket.
You mean jizz?
your
You
own-
mean jizzception? Yeah, I know
if
what
you
that
jizz
is.
in your own Ouroboros.
While making God cry.
Has Jizzception been made? Because I'm gonna produce that right now.
Let me put my phone in private mode. And look it up.
I don't have to. Google knows that I'm a piece of shit.
Oh well, they know. But if you put it in private mode, the people around you don't know. Like all of your traffic is tracked when you put it in a private mode. It doesn't prevent the other side from knowing who you are and what you're doing. It just keeps it from filling up your like browser history.
Oh, I don't know. Either way,
So did Zoidberg piss on her?
no. There was like the toilet overflowed and then leaked down.
So
I mean,
P
so
got
he was
on
Pulling
her.
his
So his
pants
waist,
up
like-
as he walked down the stairs.
There's no-
He just used the toilet, and the toilet. He's like,
Overflowed.
your bathroom, your toilet. Sorry, or whatever he says.
I kind of took it as he like poured something over or shit over the edge of the.
I don't think
No.
so.
Can someone show me the layout of the room there?
No. I know what you're talking about. It looked like it was like over a balcony, like being played over a balcony.
yeah,
It
I
did.
get you.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
But if you think of it as a spot in a ceiling where, like, it just
Or it could have
Tom,
been.
you're
There could have been like a catwalk, like a metal mesh catwalk, and it overflowed out of
It
the
could be
bathroom.
a
and
fire
dropped down.
tower. It doesn't matter. It just seemed like he
was a
pissed
poor-
her
It was
off.
a mislead because you're like, oh, someone
Yeah.
threw a bucket on her, and then he comes down like, oh, toilet joke.
Yeah, but pulling his pants up, and she was standing under a balcony. or something.
It was like right
Was
by a
she?
balcony. It
She
was right
was?
by a balcony. Like right by the stairs.
I didn't like
and
look
was,
it up like I've got it here, but
I know what he's talking about because I thought the same thing. Because it
Peter Woodward, I
The
know
way
you
they
can
made
bring
it-
that up.
What?
She was
Looked
right
like-
by a
Shot.
balcony next
what?
to
It
a...
looked like somebody
that's
was pouring
way too
a-
involved. Finding
well,
a
I'll do
specific
it then.
screenshot. What are you gonna look
bucket
up?
over.
Zoidberg pissing?
Right, right.
What? That's all you took from this debate?
Rule
is Zoidberg
34?
pissing? I mean, I can show you some websites
Oh,
where
I
Zoidberg's
No,
pissing.
I'm happy that I think I've blacked out just from sleep deprivation within the last hour. So I'm not even gonna remember
Yeah, I mean,
most of what's been going on in this episode.
You know what? I got... Oh,
Well,
sorry,
hey guys, I'm having a lot of fun. Thanks.
No, I just think we got into some weird places that I don't need to.
You
etch
being
into
here
my
is very
memory.
meaningful to
Are
me.
you talking about my butt?
I've got two things
Weird
to
places
say
like my
before,
butt?
because I feel like we're getting close to finishing this episode up. While you guys are figuring this out, Fry reading Christine by Stephen King to
Oh, that was
one
pretty
of my
great.
favorite moments
That was pretty
in
great.
Futurama, and him just reading the honk honk, you know.
That was solid.
And then here's something
You know
that
what? Wait. Was that a line from Christine?
I don't know, but
honestly,
either way,
I'm nitpicking.
but if it was, it would be script. It
if
wouldn't
there-
be like
If there was a line from Christine that he read,
I think
Even
that
better.
is
Yeah.
probably in the book.
It's
mean,
just
maybe.
onomatopoeia. It's fine.
that's what I mean. It would be
Yeah.
so easy.
Like I'm
Yeah.
sure there's
To
some
find
woof
one
woof and
line
some
from
growls
there.
in Cujo. Like it's
But
just it's
probably
sets the
yeah,
stage.
you're
the
right.
line and
Growl,
then
growl, says Cujo.
the car honked its own horn. Honk honk.
I think we're safe. That dog can't get us. Growl, growl, says Cujo.
and then
That's exactly the first draft of every Stephen King book.
one part that bothered me, even though like I don't know why the second time I watched this episode,
Let me see your legs. I'm going to show you misery. Now that's what I call Tommy knockers.
Langoliers, right?
And also Langoliers.
And it's me, Langoliers.
And it's me.
When the sun goes down, that's a dark tower over there.
They're one of the
You're-
best Futurama or Botchamania like laughs comes from Futurama, where it's like when Sting had one wrestling match and they revealed.
Wait, the guy from the police?
No.
Yeah, we are.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
And we don't know because he has his
He wears
face
makeup.
painted.
He wears makeup, but they lift the thing and then. It just shows it's me, Zoidberg. What do you want to do?
No, what was your other one?
The other thing, for all the jokes, I'm fine with like super cheesy jokes, and when the show does that, it's filler, I guess. Not every show can be 30 Rock and be jammed with, but
Can't be real jurors all over the place.
when mom goes, go do this or whatever, and her sons are like, we thought you were gonna make us bake
pie?
us monkey cake.
Yeah,
First of all,
monkey
what
cake.
the fuck is monkey cake? Second of all, no,
Wait.
that's not my problem. Then she goes, when I said that, I meant your ass, and then slaps him. And like, I understand like she's not supposed to be the most clever person in the world, but like,
No, wait, you've never had monkey bread?
no, is that a thing?
Yes.
No, it's monkey cake was what she
that's what she
said.
said.
But it's referred to as either. It's a confection.
I looked
You
it
make it
up.
in like a bunt pan.
I looked it up and it's just a bunch of cakes.
Well, those
that
are
look like
those are
monkey-
cakes shaped like
but
monkeys.
that's what I assumed she meant. Is what
Like
you
the
were
stuff
saying,
that you pull
yeah,
apart.
like
You
monkey
take, like-
bread, I think it was.
You take like crescent roll dough and then you coat it with like cinnamon and sugar and then you bake it all into kind of a pan and then you pull it apart like little mini
And then the
Cinnabon
girl from
chunks.
Indiana Jones faints.
Wait, what?
I felt
That's
like
monkey
you,
brains.
That's
you
monkey
really,
brains.
You really explained monkey bread pretty hard.
It's delicious.
You could have just said it's like a sweet bread. You pull it apart.
Sweetbreads are pancreas though.
Not that
But sweet bread
sweet
sounds so delicious.
bread. Anyways,
You know what?
though,
I
assumed
cinnamon
it was that.
Wait a second,
raisin
are
bread
sweetbreads-
is sweet bread to me.
Are sweetbreads
what I think
pancreas
of
or is it
sweetbread.
thymus glands?
Tom's like a bread pervert. Like,
I
I
do-
feel like
I
they
do
should
know-
send out a letter to everyone in his neighborhood. Like, there's a bread pervert in your neighborhood. Like, just a bread
I do
offender.
know that sweetbreads are usually involving
Just, like, walking past, like, what's that?
organs
Sweet bread?
or something. But
Sweetbread is a culinary name for the thymus, also
I
called
know.
throat, gullet,
I
or
know
neck
what
sweetbread,
sweetbread
or
is.
the pancreas. They're both right.
but in my
And
head,
delicious.
Both of
I
the things you
picture
said are right.
cinnamon raisin bread as sweet bread to me.
The gist of it was wrong, though. Pete.
The jizz
Cinnamon-
of it. The jizz of it.
Come on.
Cinnamon raisin bread.
Cinnamon raisin
I
bread
would
is
call
sweet.
that as sweet bread. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sweet bread.
It's not really sweet though. It has like a hint of
got
sweet.
Yeah,
It's
that's
got
bread with
cinnamon and
like
raisins.
some
It's like
cinnamon
bread
and
with
raisins.
fucked up
Sweet
shit. You gotta
bread
get the,
is
like-
sweet bread.
one with like all the preservatives in it, like with the same people that make raisins, like Sun-Maid or what is it? Is it?
Sun-Maid makes raisins.
Yeah. Sun-Maid. Sun-Maid raisin bread is just chock full of cinnamon and raisins.
That's right.
You get that Sun-Maid is like a play on words.
Motherfucker, I remember the California
Yes.
raisins when they were the Sacramento grapes.
Oh God.
Oh, that is the best way to end this podcast.
Yeah. Hey, Sean. Thanks for being on the show again. Where can people find you on the internet?
Just Sean Jaundice on every bit of social media, except like Grindr and Tinder and
Oh, we have those profiles
LinkedIn.
open.
Bender.
I'm not on, I
We're-
might
we're
be on
impersonating
LinkedIn.
you.
You've probably
Might
made a
be on
LinkedIn at some
LinkedIn.
point.
I might be on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn's
I'm
tricky.
on,
They just get your email address and run with it.
mostly Instagram. is where I'm,
Instagram.
like,
Because
the
you
most
work
top.
at a place that does
No,
things.
just stop there.
Hot mic. I work at Voodoo Monkey with Tom.
Yes, I work there now. I can draw a stick figure on you.
For those of you that aren't in
With
the
erasable
Voodoo Monkey
pen.
is a very well-regarded tattoo studio on West 25th in Cleveland, Ohio. Lots of really talented artists work there, one of them being Sean.
Yep.
If you email or
And-
call, I'll probably talk to you because that's what I do.
But
Tom works there.
you don't have to call Voodoo Monkey to talk to Tom. You can call 216-438-1077 and leave us a voicemail. And if it's intriguing enough, we might call you back.
I would urge customers to call Tom at Voodoo Monkey, though.
Yep.
216-644-5658. 216-644-5658.
I think it's 664.
664, what?
I don't know.
669-6969. That's Voodoo Monkey's number, right?
867
But
5.
Pretty sure Voodoo Monkey's
4.
number is 216-WET-TITS.org.
1-800.
That's how you call them.
we can be found at slurmcast.com. We're on Instagram and Twitter at slurmcastpod. We're on Facebook. We have the telephone number that we've mentioned a few times on this show, 216-438-1077. Send us texts, voicemails, pictures of your 3-letter swears that you use on video games. We have a t-shirt store at TeePublic. The link for that is in the show notes and also on slurmcast.com. Do we have anything else? Did we say slurmcastpod@gmail.com? That's our email address.
Yeah.
And rate and review us on iTunes because it's always nice to hear what people really think about us.
Just Google Slurmcast.
And then share the link with all of your friends and family.
And go to the third page and see what happens and let me know because I've never gotten to the third page.
Is there a third page?
I don't know. Maybe. It's probably like other languages.
Also, check out my podcast, The Third Page. That's what happens when you go to that third page.
Yes.
That's we're gonna take that idea because it's actually gonna come out on our show. So intellectual property's a bitch.
Follow Chaz Monticelli on
Follow
Twitter,
follow Coco Needles on Twitter. Follow Gene and Chuck Illuminati on Twitter. Don't follow the Illuminati brothers. We don't know who the fuck they are.
Don't follow the But don't follow them.
Did we end?
I don't know,
Or did you
but
just start the after the podcast
I don't
talking?
know, guys, but I'm having a lot of fun. I don't know that I want to stop. I mean, if you guys gotta go to bed, that's fine, but I'm enjoying
Let's watch another episode.
just talking and I'd love to do that.
I don't even know what fun is anymore.
Yeah, I get that.
Are we still podcasting?
I don't
What's
know.
happening?
Have you stopped?